Earn all you can, save all you can, give all you can. Hi, I'm Dave Arnott, the Christian Economist. For today's episode, I'd like you to picture 4 concentric circles to give you a good overview of the levels of economics. Because I'm starting in the middle circle today, but I spend most of my career in the third circle. So with these 4 concentric circles in mind, the smallest level of analysis is in the middle, where you get this command to earn all you can, save all you can, give all you can. This is personal finance. This is where guys like Dave Ramsey exist. So often when I talk to people about Christian economics, they bring up Dave Ramsey. He does some good work. I don't agree with everything he says, but that's where he has positioned himself, in the middle of these 4 concentric circles, and the smallest one with personal finance. The second circle out, the analysis gets a little bigger. And that's where we find microeconomics. This is firm-level economics, which is mostly price setting. You're trying to make the decision, as we charge more, we'll sell a smaller quantity. As we charge less, we'll sell a greater quantity. And how do you make that decision? You just use a simple supply and demand curve in microeconomics to determine the elasticity of your buyers and how much they'll go with you when you raise, how many of them will buy more as you lower the price. The second circle is microeconomics. At Dallas Baptist University, it's taught by my friend Sergei Sedamatov. I operate in that third circle out from the middle. That circle is macroeconomics. Macroeconomics is at the nation level. So we study things like taxes, rent control, minimum wage. We look at monetary policies like the supply of money and the interest rate. We look at fiscal policies like taxing and spending. And we try to determine, how do we run a country's economy? So me as a Christian economist, that's where I spend most of my life, in that third circle. In the fourth circle out, if you're still picturing this with me, in the fourth circle out is international economics. And I will spend some time there in some of these episodes, but I spend most of my life in that third circle, macroeconomics, national level. So today we start with this great quote, earn all you can, save all you can, give all you can, in that middle circle with personal finance, but I'm going to jump to the third circle pretty quickly. All right, story time with Uncle Dave. That's what we call it in my class. It means students put their pens down, and this is not going to be on the test, but it's a story. Let me tell you a story about 2 guys named Jack and Charlie. In the 1720s, they were students at Oxford. They were very concerned about people finding Christ as their Savior, and so they had a methodical way of doing so, going to prisons and to poorhouses and these kinds of things. Jack and Charlie were derisively called Methodists because they had a methodical way of evangelizing. Well, it was a derision, but they took on the title Methodist. And Jack and Charlie, as you may have figured out by now, are John and Charles Wesley, founded the Methodist denomination, which in 1830 was the largest denomination in America and still continues today as a very influential denomination. And many of you figured out by now, John Wesley is the one who said, earn all you can, save all you can, give all you can. His brother Charles Wesley wrote 6,500 hymns. Yes, I said 6,500 hymns. Let's see if we can unpack this quickly. 3 elements: earn all you can, save all you can, give all you can. Well, earn all you can is easy for us as the Christian economist. We believe work is good. In a forthcoming book by myself and Sergei Sedamatov, we lay out 10 what we say are commandments of biblical economics. We think we found 10 things that help us understand how to run an economic system at the national, at the macro level. And one of those is work is good. Well, this is what John Wesley, is saying in Earn All You Can. Yes, we should work, and we should earn. One of the phrases I say most often in my class at Dallas Baptist University, and it certainly will be a title of a podcast episode before too long, one thing separates rich from poor countries. One thing. One thing separates rich from poor countries. Are you listening? Policies that promote production. That's it. Again, it'll be a subject of a podcast at some point. If, in fact, it is that powerful, that's really something important for us to understand. And this is what John Wesley was talking about when he said, earn all you can. If your government has policies that encourage you to earn, encourage you to save, encourage you to have private property, then you will earn all you can, but not without policies that promote production. So in our country, we have some policies that promote production, some that do not. In all countries, we're left or right across this spectrum, but as Christians, we like policies that promote production because God is seen as working in the very first sentence in Genesis. And he is seen working throughout. Another subject for another day. But certainly as a Christian economist, we agree with John Wesley, who says, earn all you can. His second point is save all you can. And that's where I want to camp today, because I was led to this topic by a really great article in the Wall Street Journal, December 23, 2019, by one of my favorite economists, Phil Gramm, a former senator from Texas, and he's writing with a guy named Mike Salon. And the title is, George Bailey Saw the Miracle of Capitalism. Yes, George Bailey from It's a Wonderful Life. And here's what he says. He's talking about this scene in the movie where Peter Bailey, the father, says to his son George, maybe you'll want to go in to work with me in the savings and loan, in the Bailey savings and loan, right? And George Bailey, played by Jimmy Stewart, says, no, I don't want to spend my life in a small town and argue over the price of 3 cents on a length of pipe. Here, Peter Bailey, his father, has this great response, and here's a quote. This is in the article by Gramm and Salon. Quote, I feel that in a small way, we are doing something important, Peter Bailey says to his son George Bailey, satisfying a fundamental urge. It's deep in the race of a man to want his own roof and walls and fireplace, and we're helping him get those things in our shabby little office, end quote. Now you go back to Gramm and Salon writing. They say, by squeezing nickels and dimes, the Baileys made limited resources and labor go further, producing, quote, dozens of the prettiest little homes you ever saw, 90% owned by suckers who used to pay rent to old Potter, end quote. If you know the story, you know how that fits in. Back to Gramm and Salon writing in the Wall Street Journal on December 23, 2019. What the Baileys' penny-pinching accomplished in moving Bedford Falls families out of Mr. Potter's slums has been achieved by real-life Baileys throughout our nation's history. Those who were able to save pennies enriched all mankind. Our subject for today. John Wesley said, save all you can, the middle of the 3 pieces of advice that he gives us. This is now away from our article by Gramm and Salon. Albert Einstein. He said compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe. Einstein called it the 8th wonder of the world. He said if you can understand it, people pay you. If you don't understand it, you pay others. This is what John Wesley was talking about when he said save all you can. Back to the article by Gramm and Salon. Quote, Henry Ford saved pennies and put America on wheels. Thomas Edison cheaply electrified the world, and Sam Walton's cost savings brought quality goods to working-class families at prices they could afford. The subject of consumer surplus is on another episode, but if you understand it, Walmart produces $2,300 in consumer surplus for every family every year. Another subject for another day. But by shopping at places like Walmart, people save money. Save all you can. Now we go back, trying to stay in this third circle of macroeconomics. We have to question, what is the Federal Reserve Bank doing by getting interest rates down to almost zero? As I'm recording this today, it's in a range of 1.5 to 1.75. That's very near zero. 3 central banks have negative rates today. The European Central Bank, the Denmark Central Bank, and the Japanese Central Bank all have negative rates. And what that means is you can't save money. So what we look at in the Christian Economist is how do these economic policies align with biblical truths? Well, what we find is a very low interest rate, getting close to zero and even below zero for some countries, is not in line with John Wesley's teaching to save all you can, because saving is discouraged. As the interest rate gets lower, people don't save. This causes pain for savers because they're suppressing the interest rate. The Fed is systematically attacking savings by paying such a low interest rate. So one of our beliefs in the Christian Economist is that low interest rates are good for business, but they're not good for consumers. And so we have to decide, what does the Bible teach us to do here? And it would seem like that there's some kind of a normal, natural, or equilibrium interest rate which would satisfy the saver because we are taught to save. The third thing in John Wesley, give all you can. Oh, well, this one's easy. But there is now this conflict between demand-siders who say you should spend all you can and supply-siders who say you should save all you can. When you save, you lower the interest rate by putting your money into savings. People borrow the money. You're thinking of George Bailey, aren't you? Aren't you thinking of George Bailey when they had the run on the bank? And he said, your money's not here, it's in his house. Your money's not here, it's in his house. They have saved with the Bailey Savings and Loan, Building and Loan, Bailey Building and Loan, and loaned the money out. This is exactly what John Wesley was talking about in the 1720s. When he said, save all you can. Give all you can is too easy. But today we're taught that it is our responsibility to go out and spend to move the demand curve out. This is what demand-siders think. In the Christian worldview, we don't agree with that. We agree more with John Wesley, who says, give all you can, which is more of a supply-side economics. We agree less with the demand-siders, who say, spend all you can, because they believe your responsibility is to keep the economy going. Well, there you go. John Wesley from the 1720s. Earn all you can, save all you can, give all you can, which is remarkably close to the motto of the Christian Economist, which is fear God, tell the truth, earn a profit. See you next time.